We do live in a digital era and are super sophisticated as a generation that is also intelligent. Skills in various fields also have a large impact and role, both in the world of work and in the field of economic development and efforts to improve human resources. The decision of a child in determining his career, whether in pursuing his creativity, regardless of the influence or not of formal education, is indeed a good thing as a form of support for the child himself to develop and pursue his creativity. But as a middle class parent, I would prioritize formal education over creativity. If you look at the fact that it's still happening today that when someone is going to apply for a job, the first thing that will be checked is the value of his diploma, which means that formal education will be very influential in various fields of work. Seeing very broad job prospects if someone pursues formal education and graduates with perfect scores confines me, as a parent, with middle-class economic standards to prioritize formal education, while formal education itself is education that is obtained in a structured and tiered manner, which of course has been considered from many points of view, and I believe it can have a lot of influence on every individual who pursues formal learning both in the fields contained in formal schools or not. For example, when someone decides to become a videographer, he will meet the lens of camera lens and be able to analyze the right lens to use as he has learned in the subject he gets in formal education. And also in advertising, I believe the terms and tips in advertising have been learned a lot in formal education and even hands-on practice. Regardless of that, as a middle class parent who is afraid of wasting money on things that are not needed, I hope to provide my child with at least something that will definitely be profitable. Sometimes, a good grade in diploma will be a more promising thing when someone is applying for a job than their own skills. School-age children generally cannot decide things with certainty, and their curiosity is clearly very high. This can also cause a child to be interested in work in one field for a period, then switch to other fields and not close chances. This will happen when they grow up. Helping a child explore things that cannot be honed through formal education is a good thing, but ensuring that a child will find work more easily is also a good thing regardless of how skilled the child is at work. Ladies and gentlemen, I have two arguments. The first is about why prioritizing formal education is the right choice, and the second is why formal education can maximize the chances of getting a decent job in the future. Let's get to the first argument. As I mentioned, there are many opportunities for a child to get a decent job, whether it's appropriate or not according to his expertise by using his diploma. If the opposing term are used because the work does not match the skills, will not make much profit basically. In my opinion, everyone must go through a learning process where in this learning process a person can also practice his skills in a field. Then the same thing can happen to a worker, especially to those who, if accepted with high enough academic scores, are believed to be able to learn new things quickly. This perspective can give them all who have academic skills through formal learning can get the opportunity to pursue new things, including jobs that they may not have understood before. Having experience in a field of work is indeed important, but it is possible for those with formal education can be considered very effective and useful. On the second opinion, I have mentioned many times before that those who have good academic grades through formal education are considered to be able to learn many things well. Practice without theory is useless. Therefore, in formal education, everyone will get a basic and thorough theory, and they will also have the opportunity to practice and develop their interests and talents. This combination, theory and practice, is not carried out in non-formal education. And this is enough to prove that formal education can provide maximum opportunities in the future and be a promising choice for middle-class parents to minimize the possibility of their children failing in the field of work in the future when they grow up. In conclusion, formal education is the best educational option that middle-class parents can give their children. This is evidence that the priority of diploma value over work experience. Even if an agency prioritizes work experience, they also consider someone through their formal education.